20 years ago, I thought, oh, if I do this for a year, I'd be really, really happy and really, really lucky.
Okay, but what he says and what he does are two different things, because I know what teenage boys are like.
Is Dev a good boy? Is he a bad man? Is he a good man? Is he a comedy character? Is he a serious character? Honey, what have you done?
My name is Suman Bhuchar. I'm from AsianCultureVulture.com, and I'm delighted to be talking to Jimmi Harkishin, who plays the character of Dev Alahan in the ITV soap Coronation Street. So Corrie, as it's affectionately known amongst fans, is going to be 60 years old on the 9th of December. And Dev has been a large part of its life. So tell us a bit about Dev Alahan.
Well, I don't know. He's kind of tall. He's dark. He's good looking. No, I'm kidding. Dev started. I mean, I started playing Dev 20 years ago. So it's my 20th.
Hi, Dev. It's Nita here.
Nita. Nins, long time no see. How's things? Huh? Uncle Ravi?
Dad's in India, Dev. Didn't Vic tell you?
Vic? Well, I've not seen Vic.
So for those of us who don't watch soaps, you know, what is Dev like? You know, how did he come in? How was he introduced as part?
Because I think the first Asian family that came into Coronation Street was with Rebecca Sarker, Chris Bisson, who were both now in Emmerdale, I think, and
Saeed Jaffrey.
Jaffrey, who played my uncle.
Okay.
And they were already sort of there, but Saeed had to, you know, he went off to do his other things, and so they wanted someone to come in and take over his business, his shop. Mm-hmm. And the producer at the time, Jane McNaught, very kindly asked me if I'd like to come and read for it.
Okay. So what happened? You were supposed to be, you took over the shops in Corrie. What were you, an entrepreneur? You lived in Manchester? I mean, what was your backstory? Did they...
This is what he basically came in. He was just a bit of a businessman. I think he'd sort of, you know, been brought up around the Birmingham area, but I really couldn't do a Birmingham accent very well. So we ditched that quite early. And he came in to start the shop. But I think, you know, in the beginning, because that's the sort of the beauty of Coronation Street. It's so kind of... it kind of grows and changes with you. So I think, you know, when I first came on 20 years ago, I don't think I knew what I wanted to do with the character, and they didn't know what the character was going to be or do, and it kind of grows with you. So the original idea of what Dev might be is kind of lost, maybe in perhaps. I certainly. Because you don't have a process, I didn't at least have a process of kind of like a rehearsal and, you know, big talks about character development and stuff before you start the show. They kind of say, you know, this is the job, we send you a script and then you start filming. So it was torturous, but it wasn't really. But you never know how long it's going to last for. That's the beginning. And that's the thing about this job, you have a beginning. You don't know where the middle is, and you have no idea where it's going to end. So 20 years ago, I thought, oh, if I do this for a year, I'd be really, really happy and really, really lucky. And it's sort of, you know, sort of grown from there on. But sometimes you sort of, sorry, just lastly, it's very difficult for me to talk about the character because you're so close to it. You know, it's almost like you can't see the wood for the trees sometimes because you're there. And it's people outside that are watching it. So their definition and distinction of what Dev is probably more accurate than mine.
Now Dev is a single dad. He looks after these two twins. He's moved schools. I mean, it seems to me that Dev has grown as a character. He's matured. I mean, if you read the stuff about him, he was a ladies' man and now he's a single dad. Do you want to tell us a bit about the evolution? I mean, like, how much do you as an actor get the opportunity to you know, discuss your character with the writers and say, no, I think Dev would do that or whatever?
I personally don't do that. I'm not saying that you don't have an access to it. I'm sure you do, but I'm sure that there are other actors that discuss character development with producers and writers. far more than I do, but I don't do it. I don't. I think one of the beauties of what I do is the constant kind of surprise element of what the story is and where it's going. I don't, and I love that part of it, as opposed to me actually somehow trying to dictate where the character goes. Because I don't know where it goes. I mean, it sounds kind of, it's very nebulous. It's almost like, I can't really remember what I was like as a person 20 years ago, 30 years ago. I don't think we can. I mean, we can't remember the conversations we had and the thought processes we had and what our leanings were, what we were, and what our likes and dislikes were. And that's the beauty of this show, because I think the writers kind of, it's almost like it works on a subconscious level. They are watching me and they are writing, and then I get the script and then I play it. And then it's a slow evolution of character and time. And it's lovely, but I don't, I think there are only so many stories you can tell, right? It has to be, it's not inexhaustible. But what you can have is spin and variation. You can say, certain stories that are happening with my daughter now. The Tanisha Corrie is a wonderful, wonderful actress. She's really sort of blossomed into something quite fantastic. And she, there was a skin lightening story that she played so well.
What's really in the bag?
I've told you, it's just makeup and stuff.
Okay, come on, honey. I wasn't born yesterday. Your eyes haven't left it since I walked into the room, so please just tell me the truth.
It's none of your business.
Yeah, but you stole my credit card. Don't you think that makes it my business? Fair enough.
Dad, no.
Skin lightening cream. What's wrong with your arm?
Nothing.
Okay, no more lies. Show me your arm. Please, Asha, just show me your arm. Honey, what have you done?
And then there was the thing about going out with the boy, and I don't know if they started showing this, this thing about, whether she should be going on the pill and all the rest of it.
So maybe I should have listened. Okay, but you are 15 years old, right? That means it's illegal for you to...
Nothing like that happened.
No, but you obviously thought it would.
I told you I wasn't going to use it until I was 16, and I'd make him wear a condom.
Yeah, no. Right, no, I am not having this discussion. Okay, because you are too young, and if he's pressing you to do anything...
I've told you that he hasn't.
Okay, but what he says and what he does are two different things, because I know what teenage boys are like.
Now, these stories are obviously, like the skin whitening story is very specifically for us. Right? It's for her, it's for us, it's for... and so, but because Dev's a single parent, then you have more conflicts. I mean, I think if you have narrative, right, and theme, if you want, it's the divide in between that you get some kind of, if you want, art without getting too sort of heavy-handed in it. And I think, these stories, it's because of Dev and his relationship with the children, but for him being like an Asian man now, right? With all the contradictions that has. I mean, I don't know what he would have thought about this, 20 years ago, but obviously once you have children, your expectations of the world and your expectations of yourself change. They're not the same. And he comes, it's very, very odd actually. It's like, because, it's like, that character and the thought of character is such a personal statement almost. But I love the opportunities they're giving me, so that's really nice.
Do you want to tell us a bit more about that? What do you mean by that?
Well, because, they trust the character and they allow him to sort of, to bring all kinds of things. And I mean, one of the sort of wonderful things that they give Dev is that they give him really sort of good sort of, comedy storylines as well as the sort of the dramatic stuff.
Oh, Mummy, we have been a busy business. Come along, sit down and close those eyes. Close those eyes. Okay, now listen, 2 whole hours they have spent doing this. Okay, so love it. Right? Shh, come on, get into place. Come on, ready? Okay. Open them. Hit it.
It's a hard knock life for us. It's a hard knock life for us.
Hang on. Oh my gosh, Dev. These are his new school trousers, and this is a designer jumper.
What? But the guy, you said that she said that you could. Guys, you promised me this was just like old stuff.
High five.
Is this funny? This isn't funny.
So they're, in 20 years, the canvas they've allowed me to sort of, play with, if you want, is quite wide. Right? It doesn't start off, is Dev a good boy? Is he a bad man? Is he a good man? Is he a comedy character? Is he a serious character? All those things are kind of there, and they're all very sort of evident. And they've allowed me to do it. And they've had faith in me and allowed me to basically play with the part and character. But what I think I'm trying to say is that they do allow, it's not just kind of like, doom and gloom and despair.
No.
A lot of light and shade, and I think you need that. You need that. You need, for the longevity of the character, you need to be able to sort of, pull out of that sometimes and play something completely against. But then it allows you sort of then, just as an actor, to have choices for other scenes. So if you play like a very serious scene, your character and the choices are much broader. So you can start off a scene which, I don't know what it is. There is no definite rights and wrongs in acting and choices you make. There just is. And how well can you pull it off, the choice that you've made. But it's kind of curious whenever I talk about that sort of thing, because it's not tangible. You can't say, what did you do? I say, I'm a piano player. Can you play me something? So, I'm an actor. Can you act? Yeah. Well, I don't know. What do you want me to do? You know what I mean? It's not a tangible art form, but it's definitely something there.
But you've been in a particular storyline and you've embodied the character of this other person for a long time in terms of as a regular thing, because most people, if you're acting, it's a short job, you finish, you do another job. So how does that affect you as Jimmy, if you know what I mean? Do you take him home and do you think, oh God, David?
I think it's inevitable that sometimes, when you're playing the kind of heavier storylines, and it's inevitable it affects you. It does, of course it does. And because you have to, if you're playing scenes where you're upset or something's happened or something's, like a very emotional scene, you find that in yourself. And that's, and I'm not saying I do it very well, I'm just saying that, but you do have to find it, and sometimes it is difficult because it's not just, one day you might have, it's the culmination of a storyline. So you've lived with that for a while and you've thought about things for a while and, you've developed things for a while, and it's really nice. It's nice because it takes time to sort of, to touch those kind of emotions, even for like a couple of scenes, and then you have to bring it all in and then you can let it go. I think it's you can't be frivolous with that. You have to respect it for what it is.
So he's had some personal tragedies. His wife died in a fire and so on. And right now you're dealing with your teenage daughter who seems to be causing you more problems, inverted commas, let's say, than your son. He seems to be a bit more of an easygoing character. Yes, okay. No, I'm just saying, that what do we have to look forward to for Dave? What's he going to do in the next few weeks, if you're allowed to discuss any of this?
Well, no, I don't know if I can talk, because there's a really good, lovely storyline that's happened with my daughter.
Okay.
I don't think I can talk about it because we haven't filming it yet. So
okay.
Really sort of, say something that might step on people's toes. So but there's some lovely things happening with, and actually now, especially sort of, with all the stuff that's happening with lockdown. The bubble of actors and stuff that you work with, that's become smaller, but the scenes that you're playing have become longer because it's not like 1 or 2 pages and then move to another scene and another scene, another scene. Then you're doing sort of some work, maybe 6-7 page scenes, which are character driven and just really nice writing. Some of the writing, it's just beautiful writing.
So explain it a bit more. So as an actor now, you have to bubble up with the key people that you work with so you can be together in a same sort of environment.
Yeah, what used to happen before this COVID thing was that, it was far more kind of frantic. So you'd have maybe a scene in my corner shop and it'd be 1 or 2 pages. Then it'd go on to another set, somebody else, another character maybe. And then somewhere else, 1 or 2 pages, much shorter, sharper scene. But because the actors, for various reasons of age and personal kind of reasons, if people are shielding or whatever, this is my assumption, are working, so the pool of actors has become smaller. Some of the older ones aren't working, or they haven't been working as much as before. Somebody had a shielding or whatever, have got personal sort of like reasons not to be here. And then the scenes, because it's harder to, it doesn't make any sense to jump from one set to another, right, straight away. The scenes that are being written are longer. So I've got a lovely scene coming up with Roy Cropper, wonderful David Nielsen, and I think that's a 5-pager. In 20 years, and I admire him so much as well. He's such a lovely actor. I can't wait to do that. So there is a newfound sort of enthusiasm. I'm kind of like really enjoying it.
Okay, sounds like a lot more creative type approaches creeping into the.
But that's what. And then just to sort of jump back a bit, but I've had 20 years to make character choices, so I can bring all that. Right? Whereas, like, when you first start, it's your first step. What is this character? You're still trying to find out what that is. And the character can be whatever you want, as long as you believe it and the audience have seen it, right? But now they've seen it. They've seen all this stuff. It's just good. It's good to work.
Well, Dev, thank you so much. Or should I say, Jimmy, thank you so much for sharing some insights.
Well, thank you very much for being so sweet. Yeah.
Yes, we wish you the best of the 60th birthday and more to come. Thanks again. Thank you.